Adriana Kugler. Miran addressed concerns about Fed independence following pressure from the president to lower interest rates.
I couldn't be more in agreement that independence of the central bank is of paramount importance for the economy, for financial markets, for the long-run stewardship of the country. All of those are completely, I'm in complete accord with. Look, the president nominated me because I have policy views that I suppose that he liked.
My next guest says Miran's made it clear he will not be independent. Joining me now is Aaron Klein, Economic Studies Fellow at Brookings Institution. It's great to have you on. Why do you think he's made it clear that he's not going to be independent?
Well, he's not leaving his job at the White House. I mean, he's going to be an employee of President Trump. Look, I handled Federal Reserve nominations for the Senate Banking Committee while I was a chief economist for many years. Never in the history of my time there or for decades before has anybody tried to hold on to their job as a presidential appointee while simultaneously serving as a governor of the Federal Reserve. You cannot be independent of the White House while you are employed by the White House.
Have we ever seen somebody come in to fill out the remaining 4 months of a Fed term before? How much does that factor in the timing of this?
Well, look, I mean, if he didn't want the job for 4 months, he shouldn't have taken the job. He chose to apply for this job. Ben Bernanke resigned from a full 14-year term on the Fed, I believe, to go be the president's chief economist for the Council of Economic Advisors under President Bush, and then was nominated to go back in less than a year to be the chair. I mean, if Miran had the confidence, leave the job. And trust me, for a person who served on the board of governors of the Federal Reserve, there are a lot of great job opportunities in or outside of the administration. But keeping your job at the White House, look, if he does this, he's setting a precedent that the next chairman of the Federal Reserve could be an employee of the White House. That's the precedent that's at stake, which is fundamentally Fed independence.
Do you expect senators to take umbrage with this today and anything else that came out of this confirmation hearing? Do you think it's going to hold up his vote, especially if the clock is ticking, to see him potentially confirmed before the next FOMC decision meeting?
Look, the fundamental point is that the independence of the Federal Reserve is being tested by a war on multiple battlefields by President Trump. It's on the courts about Fed Governor Lisa Cook, and it's in the hands of the United States Senate, probably on a realistic basis in the hands of 4 Senate Republicans. But paying lip service to being independent while making a mockery of it by keeping your job at the White House, it's just a joke at this point. If he's confirmed and allowed to dual hat, and that precedent ought to weigh in the minds of every senator and every person in the bond market and in financial markets, that this is the end of the independence of the Federal Reserve. Because keep in mind, if Miran votes the way Trump doesn't like, Trump can fire him as CEA chair. So the job that he says is so important for him to stay a part of, that he won't resign, is one that the president can fire if he doesn't like your tie.